From Breaking Bad to The Wire, some TV crime dramas are so amazing that I knew they were going to be masterpieces within the first 10 minutes of the first episode. A pilot episode's job is to hook viewers and make them want to come back, and opening scenes like The Sopranos' Duckfest did just that. 10. Dexter. Dexter looking at a card during the pilot. Dexter was only a masterpiece up until its baffling ending, but for 8 seasons, it was one of the best crime dramas on television. With a deliciously dark sense of humor, it told the story of a blood spatter expert who harnessed his irrepressible urge to kill into a vigilante crusade to kill every other serial killer in Miami. This curious premise of a serial killer who only kills other serial killers was set up perfectly in the first 10 minutes of the pilot episode. We see Dexter track down a local pastor who's been murdering young boys, then take sick pleasure in taking that killer's life. It was the ideal introduction to this blood-soaked, pitch-black comedy thriller. 9. Sherlock. Sherlock meets John in the Sherlock pilot. The first scene in Sherlock's pilot episode sets up the key character dynamic at the heart of Arthur Conan Doyle's classic mysteries. Dr. John Watson, in this version, an army medic who was injured in the war in Afghanistan, arrives at 221B, Baker Street to inquire about lodging with the brilliant but eccentric sleuth Sherlock Holmes. From this opening meet and greet, it was clear that Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman had the palpable on-screen chemistry to bring Holmes and Watson's iconic partnership from the page to the screen. This scene also masterfully established the refreshingly modern take on these characters that set this series apart from the dozens of previous adaptations. 8. Mr. Robot. Elliot, Rami Malek, with the owner of Ron's Coffee in the Mr. Robot pilot. The opening scene of Mr. Robot told us everything we needed to know about the tone of the show, the world it took place in, and the character of Elliot Alderson. It sees Elliot walking into a coffee shop, sitting across from the owner, and calmly telling him that he knows he's been sharing child pornography online. The owner panics and pleads with Elliot to name his price for keeping quiet, but Elliot doesn't want money. He's already called the cops, he just wanted to see the owner's face when he told him. This sequence simultaneously set Elliot up as a righteous vigilante hacker and introduced us to the awkwardness of Rami Malek's portrayal of the character. 7. Mindhunter. Cody Miller points a shotgun at himself in Mindhunter. The opening sequence of Mindhunter immediately sets the grim tone for the series, but it goes even deeper than that. It sees FBI Special Agent Holden Ford attempting to negotiate a hostage situation with the culprit, Cody Miller. While Ford saves the hostage, he fails to prevent Miller from taking his own life, leaving him chilled to the bone. This was a suitably dark, grisly, and intense scene to begin the series with. But it also introduced the underlying thematic substance that would make the show so compelling. Mindhunter would explore the devastating psychological toll of dealing with people like Miller on a daily basis, coming face to face with them and studying their behavior, and the opening scene encapsulated that. 6. Better Call Saul. Gene working at Cinnabon in Better Call Saul's pilot. It might have taken Better Call Saul a couple of seasons to match the greatness of its predecessor, Breaking Bad, but it got off on the right foot in its opening sequence. The bulk of the series would be a prequel to Breaking Bad, filling in the backstory of how Jimmy McGill became Saul Goodman, but the opening sequence is a sequel. We see that, true to his word, Saul has gone into hiding as a Cinnabon manager in Nebraska. He leads a boring, mundane, black and white existence on a regular 9-to-5 grind, and the only respite he gets is reliving his glory days by watching his old commercials on VHS every night. The series immediately set itself up as an intimate character study. 5. Adolescence. A police officer points a gun at Jamie in Adolescence. Netflix's Adolescence doesn't waste a second getting into the thrills. In the first 10 minutes, a swarm of gun-toting police officers kick down the front door of a typical suburban home, wave their weapons in the terrified family's faces, and arrest a seemingly harmless 13-year-old boy on suspicion of murdering his classmate, which he vehemently denies. This is already an intense and frightening scenario on its own, so that alone would be enough to hook viewers into the show. But the single-take shooting style makes it so immersive and real that it feels like it's actually happening, and you're there to watch it unfold. 4. True Detective. Rust and Marty at the crime scene in True Detective Season 1 Episode 1. The first season of True Detective is a true television masterpiece. It plays like a deeply complex, richly intricate crime novel brought to life with movie-quality cinematography and career-best performances by Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. It was clear that this show was something special from the first few minutes, and it only got better from there. In the opening shot, we're immediately introduced to the series' cinematic visuals as we see the silhouetted killer set a field ablaze, seemingly to ensure that Dora Langer's body would be found. Then, we flash forward 17 years to the detectives who still haven't solved the case. This sequence established True Detective's unique dual timeline narrative and Southern Gothic style. 3. The Sopranos. Tony Soprano sitting in Dr. Melfi's office in the pilot of The Sopranos. The most obvious and cliched way to open a TV show about a mob boss would be to have him murder someone or pay off a cop or shake down a local business owner. But David Chase's pilot script for The Sopranos goes in a completely different direction and opens with the boss going in for his first session with a psychiatrist. As Tony Soprano recounts the story of his first panic attack for Dr. Melfi, he tells her about the family of ducks that moved into his swimming pool. This opening sequence made it clear that this series would have great writing and great performances, but also that it would be a very different kind of gangster show.